Okay, so it's the top of the hour, and we're going to get started straight away. We don't have much time, we have 30 minutes. So, hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is Josh, and I work in the Appspace marketing team. So, today we're going to be speaking about the Appspace workplace management solutions and how you can upgrade your workplace experience for your employees and customers. So just a few housekeeping rules then before we get started today. So during the webinar, if you have any questions, if you could just pop them into the, there's a little panel where there's a picture down here where you can put your questions in. So yeah, we would love to hear from you if you have any questions. And we will have a quick Q&A session at the end of this webinar. We will be sending out this recording, so don't worry, you will have it. We're going to try and get that out to you within 48 hours, so you'll get that before the weekend, of course. And then just quickly looking at the agenda for today. So we're going to be firstly defining what is the workplace experience and what does that mean. We've also got Thomas on this webinar today. So we're in good hands, and Thomas is going to be showing us some live demos with space reservation, visitor management, and wayfinding to obviously help you improve and show you the employee workplace experience things that you can be doing. Then at the end of this webinar, we're going to have a quick Q&A, as mentioned before, and a wrap up. Okay, so let's dive into this. So today's presenters, as mentioned, we have Thomas. So we're in good hands, and Thomas is responsible for customer experience excellence throughout Appspace. Thomas has worked at Cisco for a long time in multiple different business units there. You've also, you have me, my name's Josh. So I'm from the Appspace marketing team, and I'm responsible for showcasing some of the great innovative Appspace solutions to prospects and customers through events and webinars such as today. So workplace experience, what does it mean? So we have a slide here. So yeah, what do we mean by workplace experience and how does this differ from the employee experience? Well, the employee experience encapsulates what people encounter and experience during their tenure at an organization. It's about engagement. So positive experiences correlate to better engagement. It's also about retention. Employees are more likely to stay at an organization when their experience is positive. And this is very true. Obviously, this year, last year in the US, we're talking a lot about the Great Resignation. So it's super important to keep your talent at your organization. It's about recruitment, but the bottom line is that engaged employees are more likely to stay at an organization when their experience is improved and they're happy, they're satisfied with working there. Now, workplace experience is slightly different, and this is the full approach to creating the best possible working environment for your team. And here we have these circles, these four circles. And the first one is technology. So you have to make sure that you've got the right and appropriate tools in place for your team to be successful. So this is vital. Then when we're talking about office space and tools, so whether you're in a physical office location or working remotely, having the space and tools is to be productive is key. And of course, one of the last circles is people. So the workplace experience includes all the people working together to help make the workplace function work, and it brings it all together. So for all of these things to be, for the workplace experience to be optimal, all of these things need to be connected. And as this new workplace experience evolves, people need better ways to stay informed, and engaged no matter where they are or what kind of work they do. The reality is that the future of work is about your physical and digital workplace. So it's really about the experience that you provide to your employees, or in some of your cases for your customers. So now I'm going to hand over to Thomas, and we're going to talk about some of the different elements there with workplace management and workplace communications. So Thomas, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Hi, everyone. Good to meet you. I lead product innovation at Appspace, and therefore I like to talk about the product. I love to show the product. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on slideware. In fact, I have 2 slides, and then I'm going to dive right into the demo. We have around 20 minutes to go, so it should be quick and fast. At Appspace, as mentioned, we focus on 2 main pillars: workplace management and workplace communication. Today, it's all about workplace management. What's unique with Appspace, or one of the aspects that's really unique, is we do both from a single platform. It's a single product. You don't have multiple products to address. From a workplace management, everything starts from visitor kiosk, wayfinding kiosk. We have an employee app. That employee app will allow employees to find their way in the office, view where their colleagues are sitting, manage meeting rooms. They'll be able to invite their visitors on site. And that employee app is available as an iOS app, as an Android app, as a web app, but it's also available as a Teams embedded app and as an Outlook add-in. Users can also manage hot desking and hoteling resources and book their rooms and manage their rooms through a room scheduling panel. So there's a lot we do with workplace management from a single platform. But if we expand on the right side, workplace communication, it is part of the workplace management side as well, in the sense that all your notifications are going to pop up, for example, in Microsoft Teams or Slack or WebEx. You're going to be able to publish from Appspace into SharePoint and from SharePoint back into Appspace for any critical workplace communication. Our employee app is not only about reserving workspaces, it's also about receiving workplace news and channels. It's about 2-way communication through reactions when there is a town hall happening on site and you want to react, or it's about communities, because today the hybrid work is about meeting in the physical workplace, but also meeting in the digital workplace. File management. Of course, digital signage is one of the communication channels of Appspace. This is where we originated from. It plays an important role in both workplace management and workplace comm, and then email campaigns with this, which is a new feature in Appspace. There's a lot in this slide, and there's a lot of information and a lot of capabilities. And for that reason, we provide the tools for both workplace management with analytics and reporting and for workplace communications. We also have a team of enhanced services that's up there. If you can click, thank you, which can help customers deploy this at scale. We have deployed large Fortune 500 customers in a very quick way and very efficient way, so we have the resources to help. There's also a big integration pillar on the workplace management. We integrate with IoT services, new types of device like building sensors. So we work with companies like Metricus to be able to indicate users around capacity of a building, air quality, temperature of a room or a space, presence within a space. We obviously have integration with O365 and Google Calendaring for calendaring purposes. But if we focus on today, I'm going to go to the next slide and really talk quickly around what we're going to deliver on. And the 3 main focus, if you can go to the next slide, please, is space reservation. So I'm going to show you how you can book a desk, reserve a desk, book a room, access floor plans, see where your colleagues are sitting, navigate across the building. We're going to talk around from how from the same app, employees can invite visitors, get them to pre-register, get them to comply with new workplace rules and regulation, and then how visitors will actually check in when they get at the reception of the building. And then we're going to talk about more wayfinding and how self-service kiosks, directories can be enabled and how this is done across mobile, desktop, but also workplace devices. So there's a lot to cover in 15 minutes in the demo. I'm going to take over here by sharing my screen, and we're going to dive right into the app to get started. So let me just
pass that to you, Thomas, so you have that.
I'm going to share my whole screen. Let me know when you can see this.
Yep.
We're good? Nope. Still
Nope,
not?
not right now.
All right. Here we go. Is that working now?
Yep, we can see it, Thomas.
You can see my screen, perfect.
Yep.
So here I'm logged into the employee app. As you can see, as a user, I'm logged into the app. I can log out. I also have admin permission, so I can actually switch to the admin console. So let's first talk about the app in a couple of minutes. The Appspace employee app is available as an iOS app, and I have it here running on my phone. I'm going to go ahead and share my phone so you can see my app. I have my app, and as a user, I can navigate across some of the capabilities of the app. This app is available as an iOS app, as an Android app. I'm here on the web app. It's a fully responsive app, which means if you're accessing that web app from your phone, it looks exactly like the native app that you have on your phone. So users really have the choice to access the Appspace app however they want it. And then finally, we just released the Appspace embedded app for Teams. So as you can see, I bring my Teams client here, and you can see Appspace here on the sidebar, and all the capabilities that I have in the Appspace app are now natively available inside Microsoft Teams. So you have a lot of options as a user on how you're going to engage with Appspace and integrate. Now, a big part of the Appspace app in the employee app is around employee communication, but today it's around workplace management. So let's quickly have a look at what are those capabilities. First, I'm welcome in the app. My default location as an employee is the Tampa, Florida site. As a user, if I'm traveling, I have the ability to change my location and select another building if I want to have access to services in another building. By the way, I also have the ability to change the language preference in case I prefer to have, for example, the app in Italian or German. You can do that. So I'm welcome back to the Tampa site. If I click on more information, I have more information related to the building. For example, the building can accommodate 5,000 people across 4 floors, and it's currently operating at a restricted capacity of 50%. I can scroll down, access the map of the building, and so forth. Right below this section, I have all my upcoming reservation. So as a frequent user of the Tampa site, I make reservations ahead of time. I will book parking places, digital lockers, room, and desks, and I have all my reservations that are coming for the day showing up here. This will also include upcoming visitors that I have invited. So if we go from there, I can either click on View All or just go here at the top to Places. Now, Places is where users reserve workspaces or building passes, and administrators, facility managers can set the
Thomas, are you there? We cannot hear anything.
Yeah, I think.
Yep, you're back again. Okay, I'll let you continue. I think we missed you for the last 30 seconds.
All right, well, I was going to start by booking a building pass. So hopefully you can hear me now. So I'm in Places, I selected building pass. I can select a site I want to visit and just create a building pass. So here I'm reserving, for example, access to the Amsterdam site for next week. And I'm gonna click confirm, and this will make a reservation for a visit to the Amsterdam site. Immediately as I make the reservation, you'll notice I'm getting Microsoft Teams notification that I have successfully reserved a building pass. In the reservations tab, I will also see that I have now, for next week, a building pass access to the Amsterdam site. And if I open it up, you'll notice I have a QR code that's provided that I can present at the entrance of the building to scan my access and check into the building. And we have the ability to integrate with a badging access control system so that the access is granted by the badge by validating that you have a valid reservation from Appspace. So that was doing it from Teams. I'm going to go back into the web app. If I want to book a workspace, I can select the building, and below you will see the most recently reserved spaces and rooms. I'm going to go ahead and select Tampa as my site. I can use filters to narrow down my search, maybe the floor I want to go to, maybe look for a neighborhood. If I'm part of product and development, I can select this as my preferred neighborhood. What type of workspace am I looking for? A room? What type of meeting room? Or what type of space? Am I looking for a parking place, a huddle space, a desk? And obviously options will appear based on their availability or their existing within your environment. I can also select based on people. If I'm looking for a room, maybe I need a room for more than 8 people, or by amenities. I need a room with a video endpoint. I need a desk with a monitor. I need a huddle space with a whiteboard, digital whiteboard like a Surface Hub 2S. Once you click on apply, it will show you the resources that match your criteria. So you'll see those that are available, those that are occupied, and by who they've been booked. You can then flip over to the map view to actually see where the spaces are located. You can zoom in and you will see highlighting or showing up which colleagues are sitting where. If as a colleague you make a reservation and you make your reservation public, other colleagues in the company will be able to see that you're here through your little avatar. And if they click on you, they will see what's your reservation information and from what time to what time you booked it. So I'm here, I want to sit next to this colleague. I'm going to select the desk. I have a preview of the desk. I can see this desk has a phone, a monitor, and a docking station. I'm going to go ahead and click reserve. The time is right, working from the office. I'm going to make this reservation public because I want to allow my colleagues to look for me. And then I'm just going to go ahead and click confirm. This will create a reservation. Immediately, I'm receiving a Teams notification as well. I'm just going to switch over to Teams. And you'll notice here in Teams that I received both a confirmation from my building access next Monday to the Amsterdam site, as well as my hot desk that I just booked in Tampa for today from 12:30 to 1 p.m. Again, you can navigate floors, go from one floor to the other. If I just go ahead and clear the filters here, you'll see how I have now multiple floors that I can access. If you have a parking, you can also allow users to reserve a parking place. So for example, I have booked this parking as a recurring reservation for every day this week. Everything is reservable in Appspace, not only rooms and desks and parking places, but if you have digital lockers, you can reserve your digital lockers through Appspace. If you want to book your car wash service, you can do that. Everything is possible through the reservation engine that we have in the back end. Once you've made your reservations, all your reservations will show up here. Depending on the status, they will allow you to extend a reservation, end a reservation. If your reservation is ready for check-in, a check-in action will appear. And then based on those actions, you may receive a Microsoft Teams notification, for example, to remind you to check in. Another really important feature is the ability to see what's the schedule for your team. So you can go ahead and say, hey, for the upcoming week, which of my colleagues are actually going to be on the office on the 28th on Friday, and you can scroll and see through the team and see who's going to be there in order to be able to book a resource or plan a visit to the office based on when most of your colleagues are going to be here. So that's a really powerful feature, and a lot of customers use this to help people reconnect in the physical workspace. From there are a number of other features like concierge, which will allow users with certain preferences to manage a range of meeting rooms. I'm not going to go into too much details today because we don't really have the time, but what I want is show you the visitor capability. So from the same Appspace app where I'm able to manage all my workplace reservation, I'm also able to invite my visitors on site. So I'm going to go ahead and create plus visitor 3 at appspace.com. And this is my visitor. I'm going to complete the name details, coming in as a business guest, visiting the Tampa, Florida site today at 12:30, and the purpose is a business meeting, and I'm going to go ahead and send an invite. This has just generated an event in the Appspace app. As you can see, I now have a visitor scheduled to come from 12:30 to 1 p.m. today. It's currently pending registration. As a host, I can see what is the current status of the registration. So it's pending. There's one checkpoint that needs to be completed. And if I go to the registration tab, I'll be able to see which fields the visitor still has to complete. Now the visitor has just received an email in their invite, as you can see here, Acme Reservations, and I can see that I've been invited. Oops, sorry, that was the workplace confirmation. Here is the invite. So I've been invited by Thomas to visit the Acme site on October 26th at 12:30, and I'm pending pre-registration. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the link address here and paste it in an incognito window. And you're going to see that as a visitor, I now have a web form to complete. It's fully responsive, so you can do that from your phone or desk. My registration is pending. I can go ahead and say complete registration. My first name is correct, last name is correct. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture. So here you're going to see me appear on camera. So here I am. And then the company I'm from. I'd like to have some coffee, my plate number, my company email was visitor3@appspace.com. Oops. And then my citizenship. And basically, depending on my citizenship, this may drive the request to upload a passport, for example, or an ID if you're not a US citizen. Then once you click saved, your registration will show as complete, and you will be provided a QR code with an access code to get access. My host is receiving instant notification that my visitor has successfully pre-registered and accepted the invitation, which means they are all set to come on site. You'll notice here in the bottom right, I still haven't completed my checkpoint. A checkpoint is, for example, signing NDA, completing a self-screening, uploading a vaccine certificate, whatever obligations the facilities team wishes to inform. Some of those checkpoints may be enforced during pre-registration. Some of those checkpoints may be authorized upon check-in. So I'm not going to go ahead and complete this for now. I'm going to leave it there. And I'm just going to go back to my host for a second. So if I now go quickly to visitor, you'll notice that my visitor status has changed from pending registration to pending checkpoints. And if I go to preview, you can see that I've completed all the fields. The picture is there, and all that is pending is the checkpoint. So I'm all set. I'm ready to head to the building as a host. I've reserved my workspaces, my parking place, my desk, and my room. I've invited my visitor, so I'm going to head to the building. So to do that, in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to switch to the admin console for a minute. And I've set up here in Tampa, Florida, as you can see, Appspace, everything is organized in network, campuses, buildings, and floors. So I'm in the Tampa site. In the device section, I've set 5 different types of devices. The first one is a lobby digital sign. It's just playing digital signage content. That's part of our communication side. The other one is a visitor kiosk, and I'm going to open this in the admin console. As a IT or administrator, I can see the live view of what that visitor kiosk looks like. So this is my kiosk. I can open it full screen if I want to see it full screen. Here we go. Here's the kiosk. This is what my visitor will be presented with when they actually arrive in the building. They will be able to either scan a QR code that was provided to them in their invite, or they can go through the check-in workflow. Do you have a reservation? Yes, you can use the access code or use your email address. So I'm going to go and use my email address here. The system will validate that you have a valid pre-registration. It will ask you to complete the checkpoint that you did not do during the registration. So I'm going to go and say that I have no symptoms. It will give me clearance, and then will show me all the badge information on screen. My badge will be printed, and my host will be notified in Microsoft Teams to let them know that my visitor has successfully checked in. I will get a picture of my visitor, so I know what he looks like or she looks like when I go and pick them up from the reception. Again, the notification is also integrated in Slack, in Facebook Workplace, and WebEx, so it's not unique to Microsoft Teams. When you're successfully registered, on the way out, you'll be able to present the same QR code to checkout or go through the checkout process with an access code or email address. And again, your host will be notified. At all time in the employee app, the host will see the status change from your user from being pending checkpoint to being checked in on site. So that was the one of the device, that's the visitor kiosk. From there, I may go to a self-service kiosk. So I quickly configured a self-service kiosk. Again, it's a live preview of what this looks like. I can open it full screen. The kiosk will run on a Samsung, an LG, an Elo touchscreen, whatever touch device you want, even an iPad. And from there, you'll be able to navigate. If you want to access, for example, the floor plans, you'll be able to select the floor plan. It will pull up the floor plan. Now, what's interesting here is the same floor plan that the host had on the personal device, on the desktop and the phone, is also available on the kiosk. So it's really easy to navigate. Where am I? Where do I need to go? I can jump from one floor to the other. I can go ahead and say, okay, I want to book the Denver meeting room and just make a reservation. And I'm going to call that webinar. I'm going to complete the little self-screening questionnaire because that's a requirement to enter a shared space. And then when done, my meeting room will show as occupied, and I will be ready to walk and make my way to the Denver meeting room. From there, I can get to the meeting room. Outside the meeting room will be a Crestron panel, an IADA panel, whatever hardware. Again, from a workplace management, we have all the devices and all the apps to run across all devices and operating system. You'll notice the Denver meeting room is showing as occupied. The name of the room is webinar. That's what I just created, and it will end in 4 minutes. I just made a reservation in 12:30. I can either end the reservation or decide to extend the reservation from the panel itself, and it will then extend the reservation and change it to 1:30 p.m. I can also use the option to book ahead of time and say I want to also make a reservation, for example, from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and make a new reservation from the panel. And with that, and 3 minutes left, I'm going to turn it back to Josh to end the call. I think hopefully you have a good idea of everything we can do from workplace management, from the employee app on your phone, desktop, into the physical workplace on visitor kiosk, wayfinding kiosk, room scheduling panel, and so forth.
Thank you very much, Thomas. You can see my screen.
How do I end this sharing? Here, we can see your screen.
Yep, perfect. I've already done it for you, no problem. So yeah, thanks, Thomas, for those demos. Really good, and good to see it in practice. Makes it a lot clearer for me. And if you want to see a little bit more of Appspace, we have some other upcoming webinars, so you can head across to our website at appspace.com/events. So I know Thomas is going to be in the Workplace Communication Solutions webinar on November 17th too, so put that one in your diary. And yeah, just quickly, sorry about apologies on the sound loss there. I know Thomas is traveling, so apologies for the 20 or 30 second sound loss. And of course, we went through this very, very quickly. So if you'd like to have personalized in-depth demos, please do get in contact with us. You can do that through our website. We will be sending out the recording with our contact details anyway. Okay, Q&A time. We have, let's see how many minutes. We have literally 2 minutes. We did get some questions. So Thomas, a quick fire round. I think we have enough for maybe 1 or 2. So a question on the wayfinding. With the floor plans, is it very expensive to put these into a digital format and get them into the employee app? And is that?
Yeah. So you can upload CAD files. Obviously, we recommend to vectorize floor plans because they render better on a mobile device, and also CAD files tend to have a lot of details that are not useful for the end user. But no, other than that, once you vectorize the floor plan, you import them in Appspace. You import your resources, whether they come from O365, an IWMS, or whether you create them natively inside Appspace, and you just map them through a simple click process. We have what we call our little magic wand. You click on a resource, it'll find the resource and assign it. It's very simple to do. It can be done at very large scale. One of our customers has 103,000 reservable resources across 260 buildings. So it can be quite some work, but we do have a team to assist you in doing that if you don't have the resources in-house to do it.
Okay, and last question, we have 20 seconds. For frontline workers without a company email address, how can they enter the Appspace employee app?
That's a great question. So we support one-time passwords. You will be provided, you can either scan a QR code on a digital sign and enter your phone number. You'll receive a one-time password, or get the link in a paycheck and do it from there. Once you have set up your one-time password, you are a first citizen of the employee app, which means you have the same permissions and privileges as other users with a company email address.
Perfect. Okay, Thomas, thank you very much again, Thomas, for your demos and presentations. And thanks to everyone else for joining us today. Yep, goodbye from the Appspace team and have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.